Want to listen to Sower LA preachings on the go?
Well, now you can with our Sower LA podcast.
You can listen to all of our preachings and messages that we have on Sower LA Encounter Nights.
You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music.
Sower Ministry, a new evangelization.
Amen. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Sower LA brothers and sisters, please welcome Robert Locero.
Oh my gosh, thank you all so much. Man, it's already started off to a great night. Thank you. I think I'm hoping I got your name right, Jesse, for leading us in worship. And that was wonderful. It's nice to be surrounded by that again. I mean, I'm getting it over here at the church as well. But, it was, man, I used to get this like all the time because, churches were open and everything. So I could just, I had so many friends and connections. I could just pop in anywhere. And worship will be happening. So it's nice to get it more frequently now. So thank you for leading us in that, Jesse, and thank you, Deacon, for that prayer. I am feeling warmer as soon as the prayer happened. I'm just imagining that's my Father's hand on my back, just letting me know he's with me. And it's the best feeling in the world. And then thank you to the rest of Sower for having me on here. I'm so excited. I'm so glad to be with all of you here on Zoom and on Facebook. So I got the Zoom open on my computer. I got the Facebook on my phone. So if there's any like comments, questions and stuff, I could touch on those as I'm going. So please, let's make this interactive. Feel free, shout out different things on the chat down there. Let's have some fun tonight. Man, I get so scatterbrained, forgive me. So let's start off right now. Deacon requested that I do a poem. I am a poet. I'm a poet seasonally. I get a little bit lazy, I'll be honest. I'll be streaky. I have like a poem like every night, every other night. God starts whispering things to me. And then I kind of just stop. I get lazy, get caught up in other stuff. So this was a poem I felt God gave to me back during Lent. And then my friend had requested something. My friend and coworker, Nicole, had requested that I do a poem for our young adult adoration over here at St. Philip, and so this is what came out, and it just centers us for the message tonight of Jesus, the Good Shepherd, and it's also like a bit of a prayer itself. So it's going to be like it's going to be prayer poem. I call it intimacy. It's play on the word intimacy, intimacy. So, he touches my heart the way lightning kisses a metal pole and wrote me love letters I'd always remember. I made them all mental notes. Yo, Lord, I want to place my prayers in your hands like a paper and pencil and let you draw me near to you. Capture me at my best. Show me what that looks like. Shine a light that blinds me from the lies that try to bind me. Convince me that the struggle isn't meaningless, but at the end of this meaning will not redefine me in a way that defies how you died to define me. Let all of this simply be the furnace for the fire you're using to refine me. I want to encounter the shepherd that leaves the 99 just to find me. Put me on his back and remind me again whose I am. Call me closer. Don't let me go again. Bring me too close for comfort. Reassure me that I'm called close for comfort, even if it feels like you called me to close my comfort. Remind me that it is in the discomfort that provides the space for discomfort. You've reassured me time and time again. You'll come for me just to comfort me. Show me how to be more open to you. Send your saints to come marching around my heart and yell your truth at me until my walls come down. Sword of the Spirit, pierce my eardrums. Make me deaf to everything that doesn't sound like you. Put an extra stomach in my ears. Increase my hunger to hear from you. Give me an insatiable desire for your voice. Ruin my earthly appetite until I crave nothing but your word. Let your word find rest in these ears. Show me how to digest every piece of promise you invest in me. And maybe then I won't be what I eat. I won't be the pride I've had to swallow so often for people eating away at me, but I'll be who I consume and who I'm consumed by. They say I don't look well. I say I am well. You say you are water, life-giving. I say, fill this well up with your life-giving, that I may draw and have life to give to you. So that's one of the latest pieces I've written. I got some more stuff. Thank you, everybody. You've seen the snaps on there. Awesome. And then we have another video poem my friend and I did a while back, and it's on our Stone to Flesh page. That's my community, Stone to Flesh. Look us up as well. Moving forward, man, I'm already getting into everything. I haven't even really, y'all don't really know who I am. So sorry, I'm so scatterbrained. So my name is Robert Locero. I am the confirmation director here at St. Philip the Apostle in Pasadena. Born in LA, but raised in Pomona, Chino. I graduated from Cal State Fullerton back on Pentecost Sunday, May 20, 2018. Yes, I remembered all those details. It was that day was very, very important for me. That whole thing really was a testimony and really showed me God was taking care of me. So I remember the date, and then I remembered it was Pentecost Sunday. It was an amazing thing. I graduated with my BA in sociology. I've been a youth minister since high school back in 2008, initially with St. Paul the Apostle in Chino Hills. And then I became a missionary alumni with Net Ministries in 2013. And then for those of you who have not heard of Net Ministries, that's Net, N-E-T, National Evangelization Teams. The origin is here in America, and they travel in a huge van all over the U.S. I forget how many teams. And the reason being is because I didn't do the U.S. Mission. I was in Australia. So I'm an alumni with Net Ministries Australia, and it's a lot smaller over there. But I was doing ministry out there for all of 2013 around the, I forget it because it's different out here. They don't have states. They have territories. It's I think it was in Victoria. Australia, if you guys get wind of this, I'm so sorry. Forgive me. It's been 7-8 years. The Melbourne Archdiocese is what we were mainly serving, and then from there we went to the surrounding Melbourne areas, and that was a crazy journey. But that was the one that changed my life and really, really, really showed me for sure. Completely convinced me. Never doubted it again. God had a plan for my life the entire time, and everything was just set up to that. And I just had to start trusting that. And along with that, I am also currently a missionary for the community I just talked about, Stone to Flesh. And that the name of that comes from the verse from Ezekiel, where God says, I will take their hearts of stone, give them hearts of flesh. And I'll share some more of our events coming up later on today. But yes, please check us out, stonetoflesh.org. Check us out on Instagram, stone.to.flesh. Look at all that. So, okay. So, yeah, Deacon reached out to me and told me to speak about Jesus the Good Shepherd. And I got to be honest. I knew the verses, I knew the parable, but I was realizing I don't think I actually have a Good Shepherd testimony. And then I'm like, I had this poem where I know I talk about Jesus the Good Shepherd, which was, you know the Lord by the title. I didn't know that I really encountered him where I say that's the moment he really felt like a good shepherd for me. But I knew I had the poem, interestingly enough. And I didn't realize it at the time. I was actually going through my Good Shepherd, Lost Sheep testimony still. And so he reached out to me back in, I think, March or April. And I lagged a bit on responding to him. Sorry about that, Deacon. But he ended up also getting somebody else to take the slot, which ended up working well for this date, because this is actually the week that my testimony actually got finished. So it actually really worked out well, So, we thought Deacon and I thought we were rescheduling, but really, God was scheduling, not rescheduling. God was scheduling, and so we were on God's time, and it's awesome to see how that all turned out. I'm so excited to share all that with everybody here, and so so going through the verses, Jesus the Good Shepherd. So we see in John 10. See a little bit. John 10 right now. Get to that. So Jesus says to John, shares that, so a thief comes only to steal and slaughter and destroy. I came so that they might have life and have it more abundantly. I am the good shepherd. A good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. A hired man who is not a shepherd and whose sheep are not his own sees a wolf coming and leaves the sheep and runs away, and the wolf catches and scatters them. This is because he works for pay and has no concern for the sheep. But I am the good shepherd, and I know mine, and mine know me, just as the Father knows me, and I know the Father, and I will lay down my life for the sheep. I have other sheep that do not belong to this fold. These also I must lead, and they will hear my voice, and they will be one flock, one shepherd. This is why the Father loves me, because I lay down my life in order to take it up again. No one takes it from me, but I lay it down on my own. I have power to lay it down and power to take it up again. This command I have received from my Father. So that's John 10, verse 10 to 18. And then the other one I wanted to get into, which is so that, that's Jesus, from the perspective of the good shepherd. And then for us, if Jesus the shepherd, what does that make us? We're the sheep. We're the sheep. And so, of course, I had to think about, Matthew. So this was Matthew 18, verse 10 to 14. And Jesus is then, talking to everyone. He's saying, see that you do not despise one of these little ones, for I say to you that their angels in heaven have always looked upon the face of my heavenly Father. If a man has 100 sheep and one of them goes astray, will he not leave the 99 in the hills and go in search of the stray? And if he finds it, amen, I say to you, he rejoices more over it than over the 99 that did not stray. In just the same way, it is not the will of your heavenly Father that one of these little ones be lost. And so, looking into that, I was reading that and I just said, well, Lord, I know the verses, I know the parables, I've been around this Catholic school, youth ministry, everything, but I don't know that I've really had an experience like that where I strayed away like that much, where I felt like the lost sheep. And so I was praying about it, and I felt like he was telling me, well, maybe you haven't, but haven't you had an experience recently where maybe you didn't stray away from the 99, but you felt like your 99 kind of left you behind? You're without your 99 that you're used to. And I said, oh my God, oh my you. Yeah, that's currently what I'm living out. And just, okay, oh man. So you guys can drop it in the Facebook comments, but how many of you felt like you had a 99? So maybe not necessarily 99 friends, 99 people, but you had your group, you had your real ones, your soldiers, whatever you want to call them. You had your clique, whoever they were. And then the pandemic hit, the shutdown happened, and you were separated from your 99, just like that. Separated from your 99. And then the longer you were separated from your 99, you start to feel more disconnected. You felt lost. And so you didn't stray away from anyone, but for some reason, and if it wasn't the pandemic, it could have been anything else that happened. Maybe you got a new job. Maybe, I don't know, you got a new relationship, and this relationship kind of kept you busy. Whatever it is, maybe you moved to a new area. And so whatever it is, somehow you got separated from your 99. You didn't stray, but just situations kept y'all apart. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, like God, I did. I got lost. I got lost from my 99. So like, what do you do then? What do you do then when, like, what do you do then when you don't feel like you strayed, but your 99's not with you? And God was reminding me. So before I became a confirmation director, I used to work for a nonprofit called Easter Seals. And at Easter Seals, we provided services to people with mental and physical disabilities. So a lot of our people had various mental disabilities. And one of the things we have to cater to and work with, some of our individuals, they would, they would lash out. Something would happen. They would lash out. Sometimes they curse at you. They yell at you, get away from me. And we're taught, okay, yeah, that's when you need to give them space. They're going to actually want to walk away. You're going to need to give them space. So you give them the space so they can cool down, and they deserve their privacy, but don't let them out of your sight. So if they start to walk a little too far, just start following them, but be nearby just to make sure they're protected. And when they're ready, you can see when they're ready, and then boom, you can swoop right in. You can fix the problem together, reconcile with one another, and then be good again. And so, that's what I felt like God was doing with me this whole time when I wasn't really with my 99 anymore. I just felt like my 99 was just so. Along with the pandemic, people got busy with different things, new jobs, extra jobs, kids, all sorts of stuff, and I just kind of had to be by myself. And now, the way I came to see God really being a good shepherd to me was actually through this job and how everything happened. And so, so prior to working at St. Philip, I was working for Amazon. I was sharing that with Rosa. So I was working for Amazon, and I hated it. I hated it. First off, I want to say it's a great job. It's a guaranteed 40 hours a week. You get your benefits. And there was so many benefits, I actually didn't even have time to check them all out. There's discounts on different things. I think free memberships to stuff. You're guaranteed, you're guaranteed work. And so there's a lot that comes with that. But it's just not what I wanted to do. And it's being in there 10 hours, 11 hours a day and never leaving the building because there's just so many levels to the building. By the time you get to your car or outside, it's like time to come back in anyway. So it's just a waste of time during your break. So you would just stay in there. And I came in. I remember even one point I was in there and I was having I had like a panic or an anxiety attack. I don't know which one was which, but I had one of those. And because I was to get through the day because it was so long and it's just so many. It's you feel so robotic in there. I go into autopilot to get me through my shift, and then at one point something snapped me out of my autopilot, and I think it was somebody asking me a question. And then once my mind came back in, I started freaking out. Started freaking out, going, "Oh my God, we've been here. It's been like 8 hours. We're still here. Like we checked out. We were here. We checked back in. We're still here. It's never gonna end. It's never gonna end. We're gonna stay stuck. We're in here forever. We're never leaving." And like I thought, like, okay, this is gonna be the first time I really break down in a public area. And there was something in me that just said, "Hey, but you haven't tried praising yet. You haven't tried praising yet. You've done everything so far. Just try praising." And so I started praising. I literally just started saying, "Lord, I love you. You're amazing. You give me life. You're my reason." And I started like throwing in every Bible verse I could remember. I even, there was new Bible verses were made up because I would forget the end of one and the beginning of one and put them together. I don't know if anyone else has ever done that. And it got me through. But after my shift, I remembered opening up to my community. I sent a text out to open up to some brothers. And then I made a prayer and I said, "All right, God, that was difficult. I don't want to have to go through that again." And here's the thing. I can already see that if I'm going to last here for a long time, I have to like shut myself off. And I felt like I was already doing that. I don't want to do that anymore. And you've given me so many gifts. You've given me such a passion. And I know you put an amazing call on my life. I feel like all of that gets imprisoned when I work in there. So I'm going to quit like by the end of the month. And even if I'm going to work towards having something, but even if I don't have something and maybe you don't have something for me, I'm just going to ask you to forgive me and meet me in the middle because I feel like I'm less than what you made me. The longer I stay in here, unless you really oriented something amazing that I don't know about, I can't do this. And then about I think it was like a day or two later, my friend reaches out. My friend Nicole says, "Hey, Rob, we hadn't seen each other in a while." And she says, "Hey, so good catching up with you. I just got hired at this church called St. Philip in Pasadena, and they're looking for a confirmation director. Would you like the spot?" And I said, "Oh man, I don't know. I actually I don't know because I wanted this years ago, and then I stopped, and then I tried to go for it again, and I didn't get hired for it. It didn't work out, and I kind of thought, okay, I'm at peace with not doing youth ministry anymore. I'm always going to be a minister, but I don't think I want a minister position anymore, like that. But at the same time, I was thinking, well, there's either that or Amazon." And so I thought, okay, anything's better than Amazon. I'll give this a try. And I made a bit of a loose prayer that night. I said, "All right, God, here's the thing. This sounds like it could be from you, but I'm not sure. But it's also part-time, and I need a little bit more than that. So here's the deal. If this is really from you, I'll take it, but I need you to open up another part-time position for me just to, help me get by." And then, so leading up to that, I went to mass there so I could meet the priest and set up an interview. And I had seen this. Sorry, I'm like jumbling up my stories right now. Actually, so like a few days before that, I did Lectio Divina with my boys, and while we were in contemplation, I felt like I saw this vision of myself like laying back against a tree in a very snowy area, and this dog came to like lick me awake. And I didn't understand what that was about because there were no dogs or trees in what we were meditating on, right? But it was such a strong image. I just held on to it. I'm like, let's see what that's about. And then I'm going to share my screen here real quick. And so I just remembered, okay, I'm at a tree getting licked by a dog. And so when I went to mass there at St. Philip for the first time, I got there early because I wanted to be on time. And then I started scoping out the area. And one of the very first things I see is this. It's like a foil dog by a tree. And I thought, well, that doesn't necessarily have to be something, but I'm definitely a little bit more intrigued now, God. Okay. We can mess around with this. All right. And I thought, okay. So I met the priest, met Father Tony. We talked a little bit, but didn't really set up anything yet. And then the next day, so the Monday, right after that Sunday, I got a phone call, and it's this other job I'd interviewed with like months ago, saying, "Hey, they want to offer me a part-time position." I thought, "Oh snap! Okay, that was what I was waiting for. I guess we do go through with this job." So I accepted it with them, and then we were trying to figure out a start date. We said we'd follow up on it. Later that Thursday, I got my interview with St. Philip, and I got hired on the spot. And it was crazy. It was just crazy. I'm like, wow. I just sat there filling out my papers. I'm a confirmation director now. This is nuts. This is super nuts. And part of the reason being is because I've never done anything like this before. I've been a missionary. I've been a youth minister, but I always saw that as being something completely different than being a catechist. I've never even been a catechist before, crazy enough. And now you're telling me I'm in the position to form catechists and tell them what to do and how to do it. That's nuts. And I was telling people like, "Hey, y'all." So I was just, giving my friends the good news. Hey, so I'm a confirmation director now. And they'd be shocked, like, "Oh, what?" Like, "Yeah, I'm a confirmation director now." And I'll be honest with you. I got two thoughts. Either St. Philip messed up hiring me, and I need to just get as much done as I can before they figure it out and rectify the situation. Or what I'm really hoping for is this is one of those moments where God chooses, one of his lowly and unlikely individuals, and that's the vessel he wants to use to show off through. Like David. David was small. He wasn't a fighter. He played the harp. He played the harp and he was a poet. He wasn't a fighter. But even in those things he wasn't, those provided the space to glorify God, for God to really be glorified in that testimony. And so I'd always pray to the Lord, like, "Hey, Lord, I'm so open to situations where there's no reason I should have ever came out on top, because I want that story from you. I want that testimony from you. I want that story that says only God could have made that happen. Only God could have made that happen. And so I started thinking, okay, this might be it. This might be it. And the guy before me, the previous guy before me, I'm going to give him a fake name because I don't want to be putting him out there. I want to respect him. So the guy before me, we're going to call him Bruce, ended up getting an offer from a church out of state, and they needed him right away. So he said, hey, so I got this offer. I want it. But here's the thing. Like, I got to be out in 2 weeks, start driving my family to the new state, our new home. From what I heard, that's just kind of how it happened. And so they had the church had 2 weeks to find a new person. A person ended up being me. He said, hey, I'm going to give him my info and everything, give him my email, and, we're going to touch base, and I'm going to show him the ropes and, educate him on everything. That didn't happen, unfortunately. I assume he was just really busy getting his whole family acclimated, getting used to his new life. He had to drive, I don't know, I think 3 days to wherever he was at. And so after a while, I kind of had to just stop waiting on him, and I just had to get some stuff going. He was able to send me some info, including his lesson plan, but I saw the lesson plan, and it was supposed to start the week before I got hired, and I'm like, I don't even know how I'm supposed to run this. I'm not him. And I felt the pressure of being the new guy in this position, because the things I heard about this dude were amazing. Said he was very smart, knew his scripture super well. He was studying to be a youth pastor at his previous church before becoming Catholic. And I just thought I don't have all that. I'm just really loved by God, and I live like it. I don't know. I don't know if that's enough to survive in this position. So I said, okay, Lord, here's everything. I give it all to you. I don't care for credit. I don't care for recognition. I'd love it if you decide to show off. I don't even need to exist at this point. I just need you to happen, because this is not going to go well just by me. I really need you. And so that's when I really invited the Lord to be my shepherd, especially in this process. And, little by little, things start coming together. I got some help from some people along the way. I had some people that would sit down with me and walk me through some stuff, but no one was really by my side. A lot of it was me figuring out each and everything as I went. Slowly but surely, I started getting different friends to volunteer and be my virtual catechists. I got some of the members from the parish to volunteer. And when I ended up telling the staff, to start asking me, oh, so how many volunteers did you end up getting? I said, I have 15. They go, oh, wow, that's a lot. And I go, oh, really? I thought we weren't going to be enough. And so there's already some impressive things happening for other people that I didn't know were going to be impressive. But again, that's because it's God's really happening. And so we're all getting formed, we're getting prepared, and I got some, different resources, and then we're putting this itinerary together, and it's happening. And then the first day happens, and it's chaotic. It's super chaotic. It's 130 people on Zoom, split into 2 groups. And oh my gosh, if I respect anybody who is a teacher, anybody who's been a teacher during this season, you have my utmost respect. No one is ever allowed to disrespect you. And whatever you may have done wrong in the past, I'm pretty sure this atones for it, because teaching students through Zoom is definitely one of the toughest experiences I've ever had. And I'm not a tech person. I see that everybody here has different positions. So a couple of you doing the tech, doing the music, you have a speaker, you have all this other stuff. I had to do like 4 of those all by myself at the same time while, running the Zoom and everything, and then answering different questions. And it was wild. And I remember at one point, as the season was going on, it's really wearing me down because I don't know. I'm just learning everything as I go and just planning a new thing every week. and I'm running out of ideas. And I just start. I remember I'm driving to work one day. I'm driving to work, and I just like, Lord, I really, really need you. I'm running out here, and we're not even halfway through yet. And I just kept hearing this whisper, remain, remain, remain in me, remain in me. And then I was just like, okay, all right. And I read, remain in me. That I swear that's a Bible verse somewhere. That's a Bible verse. And surely enough, I looked it up. I'm like, all right, that's is it? I have it right here. Yeah, that's John 15. We're going through multiple Johns today. John really had it going on. Had it going, John. And so I was reading it, and I'm like, this is exactly what I need. To remain in me as I remain in you. This is John 15, verse 4 through 11 for anybody that wants to follow. Remain in me as I remain in you. Just as a branch cannot bear fruit on its own unless it remains on the vine, so neither can you unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever remains in me and I in him will bear much fruit, because without me you can do nothing. Anyone who does not remain in me will be thrown out like a branch and wither. People will gather them and throw them into a fire, and they will be burned. If you remain in me and my words remain in you, ask for whatever you want and it will be done for you. By this is my Father glorified, that you bear much fruit and become my disciples. As the Father loves me, so I also love you. Remain in my love. And so that was the one I kept here, remain in my love. And that's when I realized, like, Lord, I do it so often. I do your work, and I don't spend enough time with you, and it's ridiculous. I feel like a hypocrite half these times, talking about you and not talking to you. I'm so sorry. And it was a message I'd gotten a while back when the Lord said, when you do stuff like this for pay, or you do stuff like this to get rewarded, you're gonna get bitter, because you're always gonna want, you're always gonna have some sort of expectation and demand it. And then when you don't get what you expect, you're unhappy, because you're not serving purely. You're serving to gain something. But if you serve because you're serving in a place that you love, you'll always find a way. You'll always find a way in the midst of that struggle. So that's why he was reminding me, remain in him, remain in his love. Because as long as I stayed in love with God, all things I was going to do for God, I was going to be able to endure, because I was going to be so in love. And for I imagine, I'm single right now, but for anybody here that's, in some sort of like deep relationship, but I mean, even for friends, we have a deep love for, we find a way to endure for those that we love. And so that's what I was being told, remain in me, remain in my love. And, it was reminding me that even though, okay, there are times like, Lord, I feel like, I don't know if you're showing up, because I'm still trying to figure some stuff out. Little things like that would remind me, he's nearby. He's nearby, but he's giving me the space to go and do the task, to do what he's tasked me to do, and he's just giving me this freedom. And I forget sometimes that my friend told me, my friend reminded me that the Father delights in his children, just like really living their life, really letting their gifts that he's given them come to life. And so I took that as as comfort. Like the Lord has given me something, and he trusts me so much that he's not like constantly looking over my shoulder. He's taking the training wheels off and says, I know you can pedal this bike, son. Just keep going. And so we'd keep going, and even in the midst of struggle. And then he spotted me. He gave me 2 ideas. One was to have the students get testimonies of how faith has worked in the lives of their parents and some other people. And then the other one was for them to plan themselves a celebration. And then I related it back to how Mass is a celebration, and we come to understand it's a celebration. We understand how all the stuff in there, even from the chalices, the priest's vestments, even the paintings we have on the wall, those are all ways of how we celebrate the Lord and his sacrifice for us. And then so And then those ended up being what started opening up our students, getting them to talk a whole lot more. And so I was super thankful. So I'm like, all right, God, you still really are close to me. I appreciate it. Thank you for shepherding me. And then we're getting near the end of the year, and I'm really drained at this point. At this point, I've really felt the absence of my 99. I'm still really feeling alone, but I'm remembering to remain in God. And we were able to get a retreat here in person on short notice. Nobody thought it was going to be possible, but we were able to do it. And it was the first time a lot of the students have seen each other, seen me. They were all surprised how short I was. Heads up, I'm a really short dude. You can't tell from here. But like past this little border that cuts me off, there's not that much left. I'm about 5'3", so huge heart, small body. And so we were just having a fun time knowing each other. And that thing was chaotic. I was running so many things. So many things were going wrong. People were taking too long with different stuff. Some people were getting back to me, and I'm juggling like 5 things at a time. And then by the end of it, I'm hearing from so many people, yo, that was the best thing ever. I actually didn't want to come, but I'm so glad I came. I didn't even want to leave. And it's funny because I'm used to hearing that from when we go on the campsites, but this was like just at the parish, and they're like, I didn't want to leave. I wanted to stay with that group. And so I was so happy. And my friend just further confirmed what I knew, came and told me, like, man, that thing was great. There were, man, like looking through everything, there were so many reasons the retreat should not have worked, and should not have worked, and it should not have been a success. But God has really had your back, and a lot of these students like shared conversion. And so there was even a kid, I remember him. He was very adamant, letting his group know that he doesn't believe in God. He's only here because he has to be. And he even came and told me later on, like, hey, man, this stuff actually really irks me. All this religious stuff, all God stuff irks me. But I'm very surprised because I'm enjoying this retreat. I'm having a lot of fun. And so I just have to tell you, thank you. I go, oh, wow. I didn't really expect that coming from him. And then now, we're getting to the end. I had to do the confirmation interviews. That was a bit scary for me. I never had that type of responsibility in my life. Like, oh man, I got to determine whether or not this person gets confirmed. And then I have to talk to their parents if it doesn't work out. Like, oh man, I'm nerve-wracked. How do I explain that to their parents? And I loved every interview because I got to know the students one-on-one a whole lot better. And 2 of my favorite testimonies from that was, one guy says, so one guy I had in the group, he'd let us know too, like he didn't believe in any of it, but he made a deal with his mom. He'll go through the classes. And I remember praying with him. We did like a little activation prayer right before Christmas break. And I said, hey man, can we just pray that there's an increase of joy in your heart during the break? And he goes, all right, yeah, sure. So just says some prayer, like, Lord, we pray that your Holy Spirit fall upon my brother here, and that the joy in his life would increase no matter what's happening around him, that this joy would increase, and it would be the type of joy that endures whatever gets thrown at him. Now, and then, we left it at that. Now in the interview, I'm talking to him, and we're catching up, and he shared a little bit on some of his homework about having a tough time mentally. And so I said, hey man, we don't got to talk about it, but I saw that you shared about that. And I just want to say, if you ever need a brother, I'm here. I won't advise you. I won't be a counselor. I'm here to hear you out in case you never need to get any of that stuff off your chest. He goes, oh, actually, that's part of why I believe in God now. Like, excuse me. And he goes, yeah, well, I was going through all that. And then sometime in January, I don't know. I was just joyful. And I just woke up joyful one day, and all I could think of was, I'm ready to take on the world. That's what I'm ready to take on the world. Whatever it is, I don't care. I'm going after my goals. I'm living my life. I am ready. And then I reminded him, hey, wait, you said you had an increase of joy. He goes, yeah. do you remember what we prayed for, like right before the break? Do you remember us praying for an increase of joy? He goes, oh my gosh, yes. It's like, dude, see, it worked. It didn't even matter that you didn't believe. God still believed in you and blessed you like that. Now you have this time, to go and chase the Lord even more, because he's already been chasing you. Now you got to chase him back, meet him in the middle, and just be ready to encounter him more, because that's just the taste of it. There's just so much more for you left. And he was so smiling. He was smiling, and I really wasn't sure he would ever believe in the end. I figured he might believe later on down the line. Somebody else comes along, but man, he got to receive that in a program that I ran, in a program that I didn't think I could run. And we ended this past Monday. We had our ceremonies, again, chaotic. Everything was just, throughout the year was chaotic. And everybody told me how beautiful the Mass was. Different people started telling me, some of the students were telling me, hey, thank you so much. You did so good. I love the way you ran everything. I had more fun this time than last year. I feel like I actually know why I'm supposed to pray now. I feel like I'm a part of my religion and not just a guy outside trying to understand it. And there were parents who didn't like me in the beginning, because I was messing up. I was late on a lot of things because I was trying to figure it all out. Were coming to me saying, hey, thank you. You did an amazing job. My son, and her son was one of the tougher guys, when they were thanking you, my son was clapping loudly. Like, he really enjoyed this year. And then my favorite one was this woman who shared with me, just out of nowhere. I had her in my group. We did a bit of a switch, and and she's like, I had a question to ask you. And okay, what's up? And then she starts breaking down right there. Hey, I don't know if it's okay, but can you just pray for my mom, because she has she might have a condition. And I said, okay. Did you want to pray right now? She goes, yeah. Yeah, we could do that. And I said, well, hey, what if you get your mom, come sit in front of the computer, and we'll pray over her like through Zoom? Would that be okay? And she got her mom in, and we got to pray for her. Thanks be to God, the condition she was gonna have doesn't have it. She's great. And I got an email from her saying, hey, thank you so much. Honestly, these confirmation classes were the highlight of my week, so I'm already missing them. And you've become family to me and my mom. And I thought, oh my God, it wasn't supposed to be this good. I'm not that good. God, you spoiled me too much. Spoiled me too much, God. And lastly, just tying everything in together. My friend Erin was one of my catechists, had reminded me. She said what stuck out for her was in the very beginning when I was getting everybody trained. I said, hey guys, so there's a lot of things we're figuring out. There's a lot that I don't know, but what I've come to know is moments like this are testimonies in the making. God is writing an amazing testimony out that you are now all a part of. You've all been immortalized in my testimony now. And so we don't know how it's going to go yet, but God's going to come through. There's going to be some sort of fruit, even if it's years from now. And we just got to trust it. And that's what we got to hold on to. And she reminded me about that. She said that's what stuck out for her, and that's how she now views her life. And then I was praying the next day, and as I was getting ready for this, and again, God tells me, go to John. Go to John. This one's John 11:4. And I'm like, all right, what am I going to find in John? I'll be honest, at this point, I had not picked up my Bible enough. It's been a while because I got a little bit dark, and I was just a bit bitter. Again, not having my 99 around me, and just the stress from trying to get everything finished. And this is when Jesus is getting ready to go see Lazarus as he's sick. Jesus says, when Jesus heard this, he said, this illness is not to end in death, but is for the glory of God, that the Son of God may be glorified through it. And just reminded me what he had told me all along. Everything difficult is not for the sake of difficulty, but for the sake of my glory. You are being given a difficult story that's going to give me amazing glory. This is exactly what you asked for to have. And yeah, because the story I tell doesn't tell of a guy who was smart or wise or organized. It tells of a very weak, lost sheep who had an amazing shepherd. And when I lost my, I learned that a person can lose their 99. They're not straying away, but they can lose their 99, but they can remain in God still. They can remain in God. And now it feels like I have another 99 he wants me to be a part of. And in some way, shepherd as well. So it's like I got called up to some bigger leagues. And it took me giving up some familiar habits. There's some people I see a little bit less, but it's not because I'm being punished. It's not because we're being punished. It's because we're called to greater things. We're called to be at places where the Lord is going to be glorified through us. And so I got to glorify him this year really, really well in a way I never had before at an amount I don't think I've ever been able to do it just once. And so if anyone leaves today with just one thing, just know that it's been a time where a lot of us got separated from our 99, but we can still remain in God. We can still remain in love. And I'm not back together with my 99 yet, but I haven't lost God. You haven't lost God. If it doesn't feel like God's next to you, he might just be like me back on my job, where he's a little bit of a distance, giving you your time to, lash out, have your tantrum. But when you're ready, he's swooping right in and, is going to mend everything with you. And so I know that part's happening. That part's happening as we're talking. And, whatever it is you're going through, it's not a hard time just for a hard time. It is a testimony in the making. You are going to be, at the end of this, you will have a story that is going to change so many people's lives. You just got to remain in him and keep going. So I'm going to end again with another verse from John, from the Remain in Me. And at the end of this, if you remain in me and my words remain in you, ask for whatever you want and it will be done for you. By this is my Father glorified, that you bear much fruit and become my disciples. As the Father loves me, so I also love you. Remain in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and remain in his love. I have told you this so that my joy may be in you and your joy may be complete.
Amen. Thank you, Robert, for joining us tonight and giving us this message of hope and sharing the word of God. Good job.
Hello, everybody. My name is Res Peñate, and I'm leadership of the Sower Los Angeles Ministry. And I'm here to invite you and remind you that our encounter nights still continue, even though we're not meeting in person. So you can find us every Thursday at 7:30 live on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel at 7:30 for our Sower LA virtual encounter nights. Like always, we have the Divine Mercy, we have praise and worship, amazing preaching,
glorification of God is man fully alive.
And the best part, virtual altar call, where all of you guys get to share your prayer requests with us while we pray with you and pray for you along with Deacon Doug.
Feel the healing presence of God.
And all of our team members.
Visit us at facebook.com/SowerLA and give us a thumbs up, and youtube.com/the SowerLA Ministry, and subscribe.
Take advantage and visit our website, www.jesusthesower.com. Not only will you find Noel's monthly newsletter, but you can also get connected with the Sower ministry closest to you. Our mission is to get you to connect with God, not only through radio, but also through other platforms like our website.